Chargers, they lost their first game, and the Cardinals visit here with a win under their belts. It's a typically beautiful afternoon here in San Diego. 53,000 are on hand. Temperature 76, really hot down on the playing field and in the sunlight. And this should be a dandy affair. I'm Jack Buck, and a pleasure to work with Will McDonough, longtime columnist of the Boston Globe, trying something new here in the booth today, and we're going to make it work.
Hey, listen, Jack, I hope you're strong. I know you've broken in some of the greatest names in this game, you know, Theismann and Dawson and Unitas, but I think trying to get a sports writer in here today is going to be the ultimate test for you.
We shall have some fun, and you folks will benefit from Will's knowledge. Meanwhile, we visited with both of these teams yesterday, and they are rather similar in their approach to this game.
Well, Jack, they really mirror one another. You know, you talk to the coaches in these two teams, and they will tell you this. We're alike. On offense, we like to throw the ball. We have the quarterbacks that can throw the ball. On defense, we like to attack. We like to pass rush. Therefore, they come to the conclusion that this game will be decided on the turnovers. They tell us the team that gets the most turnovers and makes the fewest mistakes will win this game. So hold on. We'll find out if they're right or not.
We'll find out about the St. Louis offense first of all. They have won the toss, and they will receive. Vince Abbott will be the kickoff man for San Diego. He's a newcomer and new in this job. By the way, while we have a moment here, they had a solidarity handshake between these two clubs just before the coin toss with regard to the strike, and there's nobody any more knowledgeable about that strike situation than Will McDonough. Vi Sikahema is deep, along with Derek McAdoo. There's Sikahema, who made his mark felt last year in his first year in the National Football League. Abbott has done a good job in the new role for the San Diego club. And away we go. We hope you enjoy it. A line drive towards Sikahema. Took it on the 5. He's to the 10, 15, 20, and out to the 25. And that's where Neil Lomax and company will go. And he was tackled by Pete Holohan, the tight end for the Chargers. A 21-yard kickoff return by Sikahema. Neil Lomax will be the quarterback. And here's the defense of San Diego. They use a three-man front. Lee Williams, a good pass rusher. Mike Charles in the middle, and Terry Unrein. Linebackers Billy Ray Smith, Gary Plummer, Thomas Benson, and the newcomer Chip Banks over from Cleveland. Gil Bird, Danny Walters on the corners. Martin Bayless and Vince Glenn are the safety men. And here is the give to Mitchell, and he is dropped for a loss of about 4. There was nothing there for Stump, and he ran into Mike Charles, the nose guard. And that's a sluggish start and a 4-yard loss. Billy Ray Smith and Mike Charles were the tacklers. Here's the offense for the Cardinals with Lomax, Stump Mitchell, and Earl Farrell, J.T. Smith, and Roy Green. The offensive line, Louise Sharp, Joe Bostic, Derek Kennard starting at center. Lance Smith, Tootie Robbins, and Jay Novacek is the tight end, and it's 2nd and 14. Roy Green is to the right. Farrell's in motion. The running play to Mitchell. Almost back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and long coming up. 3rd down and 11. And Will McDonough, I know that you dislike those baseball diamonds on the playing field, and that might have bothered Mitchell on the first carry of the day.
Yeah, Jack, players dislike them because you can't get any traction on the dirt. Whether you wear cleats or whether you wear some other type of a shoe, you really can't get into the dirt to make good cuts. And it looked as though on both those plays, Mitchell had a tough time trying to cut and get back up in the area where he wanted to go.
The 3rd wide receiver is Don Holmes. J.T. Smith and Roy Green are to the right. It's 3rd down and 11. It's a straight 4-man rush. Lomax wings it outside. It's caught by the tight end Novacek, short of a first down. And St. Louis will have to punt. The tackler was Gil Bird, who came up from the corner. And pretty good defense by San Diego. They played it nice and loose and made the tackle when they had to.
Yeah, Jack, I think San Diego has to be a little bit heartened by their first series in defense because they have great respect for the Cardinals, and they're really concerned about their own backfield. The Chargers don't think they have great defensive backs, so anytime they can play everything in front of them, keep St. Louis from a first down, they'll be happy with it.
Now Greg Cater has to be sure of his footing there on the baseball portion. Michael Morris will snap the ball, and the deep man is Lionel James inside his 25. A pretty good rush is put on. Cater got it away. Coverage is only so-so as James took it on the 19. And he goes outside. This is trouble for the Cardinals. The kicker is back there. Nobody's going to get him now.
Well, let me tell you why this is incredible, Jack. Because the Chargers try to block the kick. They had no blockers back there. James was back there all alone. Normally a coach tells a guy, when we get a punt rush on, we're trying to block it, you just fair catch it or you go down. But he catches the ball with no blockers. He returns it all the way.
With a 47-yard punt, it was a little bit beyond the coverage of the Cardinals. Yeah. And then an 81-yard return for a score the first time San Diego got a hold of the ball, and it's 6-0. And the extra point attempt will be forthcoming by Vince Abbott, who kicked off moments ago. One of the officials was run over. That's the umpire. And he had to go to the bench for treatment. Indy Ansich is the umpire. He was hurt on the play. They continue on with Mozienko holding the ball. The center is Dennis McKnight. A shocking start for Bo. A high snap, and the punter did a good job of getting it down. That's Mozienko, and that makes it 7-0. 12:25 left in the quarter. An 81-yard punt return by Lionel James.
When you're in the market for an imported luxury sedan, you're in among cars costing serious, very serious money. And just when there seems no end, Mitsubishi introduces the new Galant Sigma with a wealth of features, including 3-liter V6 power and ABS anti-lock braking, all for well under $20,000. The new Galant Sigma, a serious luxury sedan at a price that's not too serious. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
Most men know I model swimsuits for a famous sports magazine. No one knows what beer I drink. Well, it's Miller Lite. For obvious reasons. I like light because it's less filling. But most of all, I like it because it tastes great. As for men, sometimes I just don't understand them. I think these guys have never seen a girl with Miller Lite before.
For a perfect 10, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Yeah, I know I need life insurance, but I hate spending money on something I hope I'll never use and won't be around to enjoy if it ever is used.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
Allstate has life insurance that pays you for living. Allstate Universal Life. It protects your family if you die, and it can provide competitive earnings for your retirement.
So, my family's set if I'm gone, and I'm in the money if I stick around. I think I'll stick around.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Here's James catching the ball. What a great individual effort. Now they had the punt block on, so really he really has no blocker. See, they arrive late. Now he turns it upfield and gets to the outside. All the St. Louis players are trapped inside. Watch the good block coming up right in front of him from number 44.
And now here's the ensuing kickoff, and it's fumbled and downed in the end zone by Sikahema. Will come out to the 20-yard line. And the Cardinals get the ball for the second time. I trace their problems to the very sluggish first series when they had the ball. Well, they didn't do very much.
Well, they're not off to a great start here, Jack, and I think they felt coaching-wise from talking to Gene Stallings last night before the game that they would get off to a good start. They had a lot of good things in their game plan, and they might jump on San Diego quickly, and now we've seen just the reverse.
San Diego was a favorite coming into the game by something less than a touchdown. Ball rests at the Cardinal 20-yard line with Farrell and Mitchell. Green and Smith both to the right. Novacek, the tight end, on the left side. And a first down pass swung out here. It's a screen. And Mitchell is good for about 4 yards, and that's all, as they faded it very well with their linebacker Chip Banks, who is bound to help this club if he can stay happy out here.
Well, Chip Banks is the guy they made the big trade for in the offseason. They needed a guy who they said was like a Lawrence Taylor for the Giants or an Andre Tippett from New England, a guy that could pass rush, a guy that would be a force, a guy that would give them an identity on defense. And Banks, they think, is that type of a guy.
He's number 56, and you'll see a lot of him here this afternoon. Second down and 6 for the Cards. Now Farrell is off on a wing and sets up as the right wing, and Lomax almost fumbled a snap, zings it outside, and it's batted down by the linebacker, intended for Farrell. And the linebacker Thomas Benson just tipped the ball. It's 3rd and 6. Lomax had a nice touch on that, but Benson got to it.
Well, Benson's not known as a great cover guy, which is probably why St. Louis ran out of that formation. He's an inside linebacker. He came to camp 40 days late. They just activated him for this game. It looked like they wanted to get in a man-to-man situation. They had the situation, but he just barely tipped the ball and made the play. Daniel Hunter is the extra defensive back for the Chargers. Lomax on third down out of the shotgun. Low snap, big trouble. And it is recovered by San Diego. Well, that happens frequently on the shotgun formation. There are no flags. San Diego gets the ball, and the Cardinals are headed for deep trouble as Billy Ray Smith came away with it. Well, the Cardinals are a little unglued here in the opening minutes, Jack. They just haven't settled down. It seems like they're getting beat off the ball at every snap. San Diego's defense right now appears much quicker at the start of every play, and St. Louis is having a tough time trying to handle that. Derek Kennard had snapped the ball. It went low, and San Diego takes over at the St. Louis 15-yard line. They could make it 14-0 in a blink. With Fouts at the controls, straight ahead is the running back Spencer, and he is good for about 3. A 4-yard gain as it turns out. 2nd and 6 to the 11, and Noga was there to make the tackle. Well, the good thing, Jack, is that the umpire has returned to the field. We saw him on the bench. It looked as though his ankle was bothering him. They had a little bit of a treatment. Now he's back up there. We have 2nd down and 6 for the Chargers at the Cardinal 11, and the Cardinals would love to get that ball back. James is running right, turns upfield, good blocking, taken down inside the 5-yard line. It's going to be 1st and goal. Carl Carter made that tackle.
Stop by number 41, Carl Carter. 1st down, Chargers on the Cardinals 4-yard line.
For those of you who just watched the Bears beat Tampa Bay 20-3, welcome to San Diego, and we have a lightning start here. The ball is 1st and goal at the Cardinal 4-yard line, and Anderson trying to get in the end zone, loses the yard. We have played 5 minutes here in the 1st quarter, and we had a punt return moments ago of 81 yards by Lionel James. St. Louis took the opening kickoff, did very little on 3 downs, had to punt. James ran it back 81 yards, and then as the Cardinals were faced on a 3rd down play, they got a bad snap from center in the shotgun formation, and the fumble was recovered by Billy Ray Smith. And now we have another 1st down a moment ago, and 2nd and goal from the 5 for the Chargers, who are trying to make it 14-0. There's Anderson, touchdown. Gary Anderson slid through there, and very quickly it is 13-0 in the first 5.5 minutes of the game. Will McDonough is alongside. I'm Jack Buck, and this is a shocker. Yeah, the Cardinals have been caught sleeping here. They're not really into the game yet, Jack. They haven't made one play so far, either on offense or defense. And right now, San Diego has it all its own way. I want to tell the audience from the Tampa Bay Chicago game that before the coin toss, they had a complete solidarity handshake at the middle of the field between these two teams. The extra point by Vince Abbott is good again, and the Cardinals visiting here have spotted the Chargers 14 points in the first 5.5 minutes of the game.
You're working on your American dream 'cause you want it to last forever. And if something is starting to show the years, you want to make it better.
Give your home new Anderson windows, 'cause when it comes to your home, nothing but the best will do.
Come home to quality. Come home to Anderson.
Where can you go to buy Anderson windows? Call 1-800-255-2550.
No better value? Absolutely. Our new Tandy 1000 HX is made in the USA and designed to be one of the easiest to use PC compatibles ever. And it's priced for the home. Just how easy is it? Turn it on, it's ready to go. The whole family can use it for education, games, and budgeting. We even give you 7 programs to get started, including word processing, filing, and spreadsheet.
Easy enough, no better value.
Tandy Computers, because there is no better value. Only at Radio Shack.
Too many people think a spark plug's a spark plug. Well, all spark plugs aren't alike. These AC copper core plugs match my car's specs like rounds in a chamber, firing up to 30 times a second for up to 30,000 miles of high revving firepower.
Precision AC Delco parts. They don't just fit, they match.
Keep your car running the way it was made to run.
Now get up to $7 back on AC filters and plugs. See your retailer for details.
It's as though the Cardinals, the Big Red, were in a dream world out here in the early going in San Diego. This will be the third time they've received a Vince Abbott kickoff. They have done nothing on either of the kickoff returns, and both times as they started from scrimmage could get nothing done. That last drive, 4 plays to cover 15 yards. And with a fellow like Faust, who is capable of creating even more points, it's going to be a long afternoon for the Cardinals unless they change it around quickly. Sikahema takes it on the 11 to the 15 to the 20 and out to the 24-yard line. The Cards will go from there.
Sikahema takes the kick on the 11-yard line.
Pete Holohan, a good special teams player and tight end, made the tackle.
Well, here comes Lomax, Jack, and he's going to have to be patient here. This might be the most adversity he's faced all year. You know, he went through a tough off season where he had some problems with Gene Stallings. He wouldn't go to their mini camp. He was almost traded on the day of the draft, but he's played great. He won the job back, but this might be, outside of trying to finish off Dallas in the closing minutes last year, trying to get this team going down 14-0 in the opening minutes.
Let's see how the Cardinals approach it with Farrell in motion and how they set up Novacek on the right side, and they start Green in motion. And here comes Stump Mitchell outside, and he got a block from Farrell and some good yards. And that's what you would call a patient play with Billy Ray Smith making the tackle.
Yeah, well, Lomax right here, Jack, has to have some help. He has to get the running game going because San Diego, as we said coming into the show, is just going to line up and go after him. Now, in the first couple of series, they got pressure there. And, of course, he also got the bad snap from center. So he hasn't had much help yet. He needs either a run or he needs to go right here to a guy like Roy Green and make a big play.
2nd and 2. A fake to Mitchell, and Lomax looks for a first down, and he gets it to Green coming back out to the 44-yard line. They have to lay off a Green when he sprints out like that. That's a 12-yard pickup. And a first down. Coverage by Martin Bayless and Danny Walters. Danny Walters starting on the corner despite some problems he's had here this week, and Will McDonough will fill you in on that. The ball's at the St. Louis 44. A good block by Novacek on that last play. Novacek sets up on a wing right. First down call and a give to Farrell, and he follows Sharp, used the blocks well, and he got about 4 yards out near midfield. We're down to 8 minutes left in the first quarter, and San Diego quickly on top, 14-0.
Well, you get Mike Charles down on the play, the nose tackle for the Chargers, Jack, and if they lose him, they might be in a little bit of trouble because they're not that tough on the defensive line to start with. They picked him up during the training camp, and they put him in there, and last week he made 14 tackles. Last year he played 9 games and only made 8 tackles.
Here's some finals. Atlanta upset Washington by 1. Philadelphia leading by 10 over New Orleans in the 4th quarter. In the 4th quarter, Cleveland running away from Pittsburgh 34-10. And a final score, the 49ers by 1. They trailed throughout most of the game, defeated Cincinnati, and handed the Bengals their first loss. And the 49ers are 1-1. Miami wins by 13 over Indianapolis. And in the 4th quarter, it is Houston hanging on, trying to win their 2nd game. They lead by 3. And in overtime, Denver and Green Bay. Who would have figured that one? And Green Bay was ahead throughout most of the game. Here's Charles. Mike Charles going to the sideline. He's their nose tackle. He's replaced by Chuck Ian, E-H-I-N. And it is a 2nd down play for the Cardinals. 2nd and 5. After Farrell picked up 5 yards. Ball at the St. Louis 49. Lomax stepped up nicely, and it is dropped. And it could have been taken in by Roy Green. He was down there, and he had the ball in his hands. That doesn't happen to him very often, but that one hurt inside the San Diego 20. That's where the Cardinals are going to beat San Diego if they win this game today.
Yeah, they got to go to Green. You know, Green is considered by other people in the league. I talked to one of the general managers in the league this week, and about these two teams, and he said to me, Roy Green is one of the 5 best offensive players in the game. One of the guys you really got to pay attention. San Diego said they were going to try to double cover him all afternoon because they respect him so much.
John Holmes is the 3rd wide receiver for St. Louis, 3rd and 5. Out of the shotgun. Quickie over the middle, and a first down catch by Green, who atoned for the drop at the San Diego 39, a 12-yard pickup. Boy, that pass was hard to stop.
Well, Green looks like he's struggling a little bit, Jack. You know, he dropped the ball the play before that when he looked like he had the catch. And that one there, even though the ball was thrown fairly well, he had the defensive guy 5 yards back off him in a situation where he would normally catch the ball and advance it. And he went down under his own steam like he just wanted to make sure he had the ball.
I think it was thrown so hard he wanted to make sure he just caught it. First down at the San Diego 39. Pass was deflected as he tried to flare it out to stump Mitchell. Pretty good penetration by the Chargers. Who was that, Will?
That's Chip Banks, and that's what they want him to do.
Lee Williams was putting on a big rush, number 99, and Banks got his hand on the ball.
Here he comes from the weak side now. Watch him. He gets right in the face. He pushes the tackle right back into the face of Neil Lomax. See, with Cleveland, where he's played since he's been in pro football, they had him on the left side, and they didn't blitz him a lot. San Diego changed around and put him on the weak side, or to the blind side of the quarterback, and that's the way they like to bring him.
2nd and 10. Farrell on a wing. Novacek sets up on the right side. Lomax drops it out here, incomplete. He just threw that ball away smartly, and it's 3rd and 10. He had Billy Ray Smith and Chip Banks on top of him. And this linebacker pressure is pretty heavy from the Chargers.
He was very lucky that Jim Tunney didn't call that simply grounding the ball because there was nobody over there.
One of the problems on that particular call is that only the referee can call grounding, and he's so busy protecting the quarterback he doesn't see the flight of the ball.
That's exactly right, and that's what Tunney did. And Tunney's one of the best in the league. That's what he did. He was watching to see what was going to happen to the quarterback. That's why you see Saunders yelling at him, hey, this is right in front of you. How can you not call that? There wasn't a receiver in the area.
Ron Wolfley is in to help with the blocking on 3rd and 10 St. Louis. From the Chargers 39, 4-man rush. Oh, and dropped by Holmes. That would have been a first down. What a terrible drop that was. I mean, it was head high.
Hey, Jack, I was watching the warm-ups before the game, and because we had talked to some people from St. Louis, and they said, you know, Don Holmes was like on the verge of being cut, except in the last preseason game, or one of the late preseason games against Chicago. He made 2 great catches.
On his
but
back.
He was struggling. Yeah, on his but he was dropping the ball in practice. I know at one time I watched him, he sort of held it for 5 seconds to say, this is how I catch it.
This is the 2nd punt of the day by Greg Cater. He angles for the sideline, and it does go out of bounds. It'll be inside the 20, and they mark it down at the San Diego 11-yard line, a 28-yard punt, but quite effective. And Fouts and company go from their own 11 with a 14-0 lead.
Today, many investors follow a rather unproductive direction, one that leads to making no investment decision at all. But fortunately, there's a way to make investment decisions easier, the Oppenheimer Opportunity, a family of mutual funds with an outstanding record of long-term performance. So to follow a more gratifying course, simply consult a financial advisor to help you select the right Oppenheimer Opportunity. It takes the frustration out of investing.
Listen, there's another reporter I gotta talk to.
Well, you scooped me again.
Jones, I didn't know you could read.
Where are you off to?
The airport.
Don't bother. I called. Our flight's canceled. Some mechanical thing.
Mm-mm. Your flight's canceled. I'm on American.
American? Where you going, anyway?
You read all about it in tomorrow's paper.
When you're something special, people know it.
I'm here having a couple of Miller Lights with the world's funniest tennis coach, Jan Tiriak. This guy's a million laughs. Hey, remember the one you told me about the chicken and the tennis ball? That just cracked me up. Here, have another Miller Lite. Yeah, light tastes great and it's less filling. And you don't want to get filled up when you're having as good a time as we are. Right, Jan?
For serious beer drinkers, there's only one light beer. Miller Lite.
Oh, stop it, man. You're killing me.
Fifth-ranked Ohio State and their Heisman hopeful Chris Spielman collide with fourth-ranked LSU. Two national powers next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Saturday, CBS Sports has a good college football matchup for you. Number 5, Ohio State, taking on number 4, LSU. Ohio State beat Oregon. LSU won over Rice. It'll be a good running game presented by both clubs. And you'll see it starting at 2:30 Eastern Time next Saturday on CBS. From the 11, here's a give to the big fullback Spencer, who's from Ohio State. And he's out near the 15-yard line with a 3-yard gain. Tackle by Curtis Greer. What a story that Curtis Greer is for the Cardinals. On injured reserve last year. And there's Spencer. He is a big back, 230 pounds.
3 yards on the carry.
DJ Jr. comes out, and Travis Curtis is the extra defensive back for St. Louis, 2nd and 7.
Yep.
Anderson the lone setback, and a throw by Fouts. And the pass is caught by Winslow, the tight end, and that's a first down. He always knows how deep to go.
Well, the tough part about trying to play against Dan Fouts is he has, as well as any quarterback in football, he throws the ball on time. We talked to him yesterday. He said he throws to a spot. He said, I throw to a spot, and my receivers better get there, and they better be looking. And that's why it makes it very difficult to play against Fouts. He's different than any other quarterback in the league. The other guys throws the receivers. He throws on time and to a spot, and the defensive backs don't have time to recover.
So the Chargers have come from their 11 out to the 22-yard line, and straight ahead is Anderson. His power carries him out near the 26-yard line. Gary Anderson for 5. Curtis Greer, the tackler again. Curtis is number 75, Will, and you have to admire what he has done.
Well, you admire any guy who's told by the doctors after 2 knee operations, listen, we think you might be better off not to play again. He had a guaranteed contract. He didn't have to play. But he said, hey, I want to play. I want to be a football player. And he came back, and he had a very fine game against Dallas last week.
2nd down and 5. Anderson the setback. Chandler goes in motion. Here's a toss to Anderson, and a good tackle was made from the outside near the 30-yard line. A 3-yard pickup. Noga, the linebacker, helped by Cedric Mack, made the tackle with 4.5 minutes left in the first quarter, and it's 14-0 Chargers, and a critical down coming up here for San Diego. 3rd down and 2. Punt return for a touchdown, and then a recovered fumble turned into 7. Jamie Holland is the extra wide receiver. Chargers on 3rd down. Throw, and it's incomplete. It's a problem with throwing on 3rd down. You would think with a guy like Anderson and a big back like Spencer, they could pound it out.
Well, you know, San Diego's the kind, even on 1st down, their percentages, they throw more than 50%. And once they get by 1st down, even 3rd and short, they still throw. That's been their history. As long as they hit Fouts, they'd rather throw for it rather than try to run it.
Good pressure on that pass play by Freddie Joe Nunn, Clasby, Duda, and Curtis Greer, and Ralph Moshienko is doing the punting. And he kicks the ball deep, very deep to Sikahema, who took it on the 28-yard line, back to the 30, near the 30-yard line, 28-yard line. 52-yard punt by Moshienko, and a 10-yard return by Sikahema. Despite the long punt, there was very good coverage. Timeout called. 3:54 left in the first quarter. Chargers leading 14-0. The Cardinals have the ball.
52 yards.
When you're rocking down the highway, keep your engine rolling with a motor oil specially formulated for your car. Valvoline has high-performance formulas for turbo cars, 4-cylinder cars, hard-driven cars, all cars. Valvoline. Motor oil is not just motor oil.
Fans, please.
Mr. Garfield, welcome to Embassy Suites Hotel.
My room.
Oh, all our rooms are really 2-room suites for the price of a single room.
Beautiful. Don't change a thing.
The living room, sir.
Love what you've done with this room.
The bedroom.
This is great. I need my space.
And of course, you'll want to take advantage of Embassy Suites' free breakfast.
Food.
Served every morning.
At Embassy Suites, you don't have to be a fat cat to enjoy the sweet life.
I resemble that remark.
Warm moments on a cold winter night. Good conversation, easy and light. Now how about something for your appetite? Let our gentle flame cook up something right. Warm moments, for those warm moments. Nothing warms you like gas.
Warm is what natural gas is all about. Clean, efficient, in fact, America's best energy value. Shouldn't it be in your home?
Nothing warms you like gas.
Well, St. Louis gets the ball again. The last time they had it, they started to drive on their 32. Went rather deep into Charger territory, but had to punt again. Now they start at their own 28. And they can't afford any mistakes down here. A toss to Mitchell. Good kick out block by Bostic, and Mitchell gets 3 yards on the play. We have some scores for you out here on the West Coast, so we have a lot of late scores and final scores. Philadelphia 27-17 over New Orleans. So each of those teams is 1-1, and Cleveland wins 34-10 over Pittsburgh, and each of those teams have won 1, lost 1. And the Vikings trying for their second victory, jump ahead against the Rams, and the Raiders ahead of the Lions in the first quarter. 2nd and 7. Kennard still at center for the Cards. Farrell in motion, fake to Mitchell. Stump Mitchell tried to block Angelo Snipes, the linebacker, and Snipes went around him as though he wasn't even there.
Well, that's a tough thing now when you try to have a running back block a linebacker. You know, when you were breaking all those guys in this business, Jack, you know, they all used to say, well, it's the big thing to get the running back out of the backfield. Watch the pressure. It's quickness and speed. The linebackers are so big nowadays that a smaller back like Mitchell really can't do the job. And this is what defenses now try to do. They take the big linebackers and get them on those offensive backs, knowing the backs really can't handle it.
It was a loss of 7, 3rd and 14, and timeout called by the Big Red. 2:52 left in the first quarter, and Lomax didn't want to misfire on this 3rd down and long play, 3rd and 14, so he calls time. First score of the game came on a punt return, then a fumble, then another Charger touchdown, and a close-up look at Roy Green.
Well, here's the guy the Cardinals have to get into the game. I mean, he is the most respected offensive player that the Cardinals have. Now, in the last drive, he made a key drop that would have been a big play and might have helped the Cardinals sort of break out of the slump they're in here at the beginning of the game. But they tell me last week, now I didn't see the game, the same thing happened against Dallas. He had a big drop at the beginning of the game, but then he finished off the game making big plays. He has been a big play all of his life, and the St. Louis people were telling us last night, when he was injured last year, we were not the same offensive team we had in the year before when he could play for us. Now that he's back in the lineup, they think they can score points again. But to me, early on in this game, he looks like he's fighting the ball, Jack. He really doesn't look like he's comfortable yet.
Angelo Snipes was credited with that sack, his first ever in the NFL, as he got Lomax, and Lomax was sacked for the first time today, 4th time this year. Could you live out here, Will McDonough?
Yeah, I'd love to live out here because I'm just taking up golf, and you really can't do that too well in Boston in the wintertime. I think what we got to look for here, and I wonder if this is why Lomax went to the bench. The previous 2 possessions, when they have had 3rd down and Lomax went into a shotgun formation, the snap was not good. One time he fumbled it. It set up the second touchdown. The last time around it was knee high. Now this time he's coming out in 3rd and long, and he's going under center. Now here he goes back. Kennard is still in the game.
And it is 3rd down and long for the Cardinals, 3rd and 14. Lomax airs it out, and there's Roy Green. And he caught it. And out of bounds inside the 20-yard line at the 19. You talk about a rainbow. Vincey Glenn bumped him out of bounds at the 19, a big play.
Well, and they had 2 guys on him. I mean, they gave him the double coverage. They rolled to his side of the field. And 3rd and long, they get one guy up tight. He's going to run with it. Now they're going to try to bring the safety man over with him. But the safety man doesn't get in the play. He's too late. Here he comes. Well, you can't do that to Roy Green. You can't make that kind of mistake, or he's going to burn you.
And had the ball been thrown another step deeper, he might not have been caught. He had to slow down a little bit to catch that.
When that ball was coming in, he was even with the defensive back, and then he just turned it on and pulled away from it.
Gil Bird was trying to cover him. It's a 1st down at the 19-yard line. Motion by Farrell. Farrell leading the blocking for Mitchell. He slides inside the 15-yard line. And the Cardinals trailing by 14 here. Should not be content with 3 points. They need a touchdown to get back into this game.
Well, I think if they don't panic, and I think if they keep their poise, they should have done well on the last drive. They had 2 big drops. Now again, they're making the plays, they're moving the ball. And I think if they just keep their poise and don't do anything radical, they can come back and get right in this ball game, because you can see if they just execute, they can move the ball against San Diego.
And they expect to be able to beat San Diego deep. Novacek sets up on the left side. Farrell and Mitchell in the backfield. Now Roy Green in motion, and here's Mitchell the other way, and he avoided a tackle. The linebacker Snipes got in. Mitchell got away from him, but Snipes got some help. A 1-yard pickup. And Mitchell a little slow getting up. I wonder if the heat is going to take a toll here this afternoon.
Well, down on the field before the game, Steve Ortmeyer, the general manager of the Chargers, said this was a very hot day for San Diego. I thought this might work in San Diego's favor, but the Cardinal people point out, hey, we trained in Memphis, Tennessee. There's humidity down there. Out here it's nice and cool, so if the heat should help anybody, it should be us coming right out of training camp.
3rd and 3. Minute and 20 left in the first quarter. And Lomax had trouble getting the ball over the defender. It was the penetration that caused the poor throw, and it's 4th down. Chip Banks was on top of him again.
Lomax has played well, and it's not going to look that way in the stats. But when he's had time to set up and throw, he's thrown the ball well, he's picked the right receiver, he's done the job. But his problem is his blockers, particularly his backs, can handle the blitzing so far of the linebackers. They get right in his face where he's got to dump it off, or in that case, if he had time, 1 more second, he could have made the play.
He is 5 out of 11. Here's Gallery trying a 30-yard field goal with Cliff Stout holding the ball. Michael Moore is snapping it. Gallery is 1 for 1. Good snap, good placement, and no good. No good. So Gallery missed from 30 yards. Now these Cardinals have had 6 kickers in the last 2 years. They've been pleased with Gallery to this point, but he just blew one.
Well, Gene Stallings, we were talking to him last night, and what did he say to us? He said, we got a kid Gallery, he's got a great leg. 5 times he kicked off last week, 4 went in the end zone. But they worry about him because in practice hasn't been that accurate. He's got a great leg, he's a great kid, and he even mentioned, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he went in there tomorrow and because of his lack of experience missed a close one, and that's
what he said last night. So the ball comes to the San Diego 20-yard line, and Fouts starts from there. First down pass. He had good protection. The pass, even though it was lobbed out there, is caught by Chandler. Boy, they were playing loose on him, and a big pickup. Cedric Mack, number 47, was covered, 16 yards.
That's Chandler's first catch of the year. Can you believe that? Here's a guy that some people might consider someday for the Hall of Fame. He's got great numbers. But in reality, Jack, he's slowing down. He doesn't have the speed he used to have. Even the San Diego coaches mentioned that if you get a real good corner, you can cover a man-to-man and take him out of the offense.
He's got the moves. The ball's at the 36. Here's a toss to Anderson. Big blocking up front. And the tackle was made by Lonnie Young, the free safety, after a 7-yard gain. Less than a minute remaining in the first quarter, 14-0 in favor of the Chargers. I think that is a 7-yard gain. Out to the San Diego 43. Anderson the setback, and he goes in a misdirection play. Goes to the 45. Spencer, the lead back, came to the left, but Anderson thought he saw something on the right side. That's going to make it 3rd down and 1.
In on the tackle, Nico Noga.
Noga was there along with Freddie Joe Nunn. And that might be the last play of the first quarter. The Chargers do not have to snap the ball, nor are they going to do so. And so the Chargers will have a 14-point lead at the end of the first period. They had an 81-yard punt return by Lionel James. They recovered a Cardinal fumble, and Gary Anderson plunged over from 5 yards out. Cardinals have missed a field goal. They've been blanked. 14-0 Chargers.
If you think Baby M has caused the stir, wait till you hear about babies M and M. 60 Minutes was there before they were born. A brand new season starts tonight on CBS.
I'm Gene Stallings, head coach of the National Football League St. Louis Cardinals. Over the years, I've coached some of the greatest athletes in the NFL, and I know the rewards of victory. But none have been more important to me than my work with this young man, John. When he was born, he was diagnosed to have Down syndrome. In some ways, he would never be like other children. For him, there would never be a chance to play in the National Football League. But over the years, I've seen him grow. He's 24 years old now, and his progress is measured with little victories. The times that we spend together are very special to me. John made this for me, and he made it with a great deal of love. The same kind of love that I have for him. Because you see, John is my son. You ready, Johnny? Let's go right. When you support the United Way, you're saying to people like John, don't give up. We'll give you a helping hand. You can make it. The United Way. It brings out the best in all of us.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Brewing Company, sole sponsor of the U.S. Olympic Training Centers. American Airlines, something special in the air. And by Oppenheimer Funds, the Oppenheimer opportunity. It takes the frustration out of investing.
We start the second quarter at Jack Murphy Stadium. San Diego has a 14-0 lead and the ball at their own 45. 3rd and 1. Will McDonough and Jack Buck with you. Chargers put in Barry Redden, the longtime Ram fullback, on 3rd and short, with Gary Anderson, the tailback. So they have Spencer, Redden, and Anderson. 2 tight ends, Cedars and Winslow. And over the top goes Anderson. That's his specialty. That's a first down out to the 47-yard line. And a 2-yard gain and a first down.
Danny Fouts has had it his own way in this first quarter and the beginning of this game, Jack, because his team has done the job for him. He's had great field position. He could use the plays he wanted it to use. He was telling us yesterday the only thing different about this year in the past, he has a new offensive coordinator, Roger Theda, and trying to read each other's mind. Like when Theda sends in a play, what does he really want? He says that's the only problem he's having so far this year.
First down. Cardinals haven't blitzed much. It's a 4-man rush now. And Fouts got rid of it in a hurry, picked off by Chandler. Chandler has lost some speed, but he still has the moves, and Anthony Bell tackled him, number 55. 6-yard gain. Chandler doesn't mind going over the middle.
No, good thing about having a Chandler playing with a guy a long time. All great quarterbacks like to have one guy that's been with them a long time, like Unitas and Berry and Namath and Maynard, or guys like that. Because when the thing breaks down, it broke down a little bit there for Fouts, but he knew where Chandler was going to be, and he just sidearmed the ball and makes a positive play out of what could have been a bad situation.
Chandler's to the right. Holohan in motion and a toss to Spencer. And a good Cardinal defense that time stops the play at the St. Louis 45, and another 3rd and 1 coming up. 3rd down and 1. The tackler was Curtis Greer. Cedric Mack up from the corner to force. Again, they put in the big backs, Barry Redden. They have a lot of beef back there when they have Anderson, Spencer, and Redden, and that's what they'll have.
See if Anderson goes over the top, or is he in the... No, he's out of the game, right?
3rd down and a long yard, and a toss to Spencer. He gets very close and gets a first down with his forward progress. He carried Lonnie Young with him, and Spencer wouldn't be taken down. A 2-yard gain and a first down. Well, the Cardinals don't have much to brag about here in the game with 13 minutes left in the half, and the Chargers are doing pretty well.
The Chargers are doing what we talked about at the beginning of the show. They're calling plays now so they don't get in trouble. They're running the ball, running time off the clock, sitting on the lead, and throwing short passes, throwing on time.
Winslow lines up on the right side. Spencer in motion. Swing pass to Anderson. And he is touched down by Leonard Smith, but that is a first down. He slipped down as he made his cut, and that was an 11-yard gain. And Anderson is terrific, and he can block, run, and catch.
Watch the blitz. He catches them all inside. All he's got to do is dunk the ball right out here to Anderson. Nobody covers Anderson because they were blitzing. He just slid out. Fortunately for St. Louis, he wasn't in the middle of the field, because if he's in the middle of the field, he could have taken that one all the way. When he cut, the turf gave out underneath him.
This fella grew up in Columbia, Missouri. His mother works at the University of Missouri. First down. Toss to Anderson. Good blocking. He used it and went to the 25, and they're tearing up the Cardinals up front right now. Tackled by Travis Curtis and Nico Noga. 7-yard gain.
He may be from Missouri, but he doesn't have to show anybody in this league anything. He's made believers out of them since he came over from the USFL. He is one of the finest backs in this league, and he's probably the most versatile player. And we talked to his coach yesterday. He said, hey, we can't just play him as a wide receiver, even though he'd go to the Pro Bowl. He'd only catch 5 passes a game. We want him to handle the ball 15 times.
2nd down and 3. Here's an inside handoff to Anderson, and a very good tackle was made by St. Louis. Leonard Smith. Smith had 12 tackles last week. A loss of a yard, and it's 3rd down and 4.
Well, when you talk about great players, you have to talk about Leonard Smith. I was talking earlier this year to Bill Parcells, the coach of the Giants. They play the Cardinals twice every year. He said Leonard Smith is one of the top 5 defensive players in pro football, but nobody hears that much about him because you don't hear that much about a safety net. But you're talking pure talent, making plays. This guy's right up there with anybody.
3rd down for the Chargers. Jamie Holland is their 3rd wide receiver, and Fouts goes for 6. Touchdown. Chandler was there. He had 2 men on him, but a 26-yard touchdown play as neither one of the defenders ever saw the ball.
Well, you talk about great adjustments. This was a great adjustment from the quarterback Fouts to the receiver Chandler. Fouts couldn't go to his primary receiver. He pump faked. That slowed down the 2 defensive backs for St. Louis for a second. Then he threw it back out there. Like you said, they had their back turned, and Chandler just went up and took the ball away from him.
That was Cedric Mack and John Preston. And that makes it 20-0 with 10:44 remaining in the half. And the extra point is good. 21-0. People thought this was going to be a rather even game. Now, that was a good drive by the Chargers after they took advantage of 2 big breaks.
Us rap musicians like to think the best light beer is the one we drink. And every rapping cat I know drinks Miller Lite. Ain't that so? Taste great. Let's fill it. Taste great. Let's fill it. Lights got body. Lights got soul. Don't stop me now. I'm on a roll. Get it right. There's only one light beer from a Miller Lite.
Sometimes it seems as if your air conditioning bills are going through the roof. But the Owens Corning Attic Blanket will help keep the cool air in, which can save you money in the years ahead and leave you sitting pretty. Owens Corning, we put your house in the pink.
When you're in the market for an imported luxury sedan, you're in among cars costing serious, very serious money. And just when there seems no end, Mitsubishi introduces the new Galant Sigma with a wealth of features, including 3-liter V6 power and ABS anti-lock braking, all for well under $20,000. The new Galant Sigma, a serious luxury sedan at a price that's not too serious. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
Will McDonough.
Bounces into his drop. Now look at his head. He's looking right. He wants something to the right side of the field. He doesn't see it. He looks around. Watch the pump fake. This slows down the 2 St. Louis defensive back. Now he throws. Watch the great adjustment by Chandler. See, he had turned his body completely around. Actually, Fouts threw the ball on the wrong side of him, so he had to adjust in the air to make the play.
Now the kick to Sikahema from the 2-yard line. Sikahema blowing through across the 30 with a very good return. And the downfield tackle was made by Angelo Snipes. 29-yard return. After the missed field goal, San Diego went 11 plays, 80 yards, 26-yard touchdown pass to lead 21-0. And Fouts, by the way, is 5 out of 6, 67 yards and a touchdown. Now the Cardinals have the ball at their 31-yard line. Here's a fake draw. And the linebacker Banks sacks Lomax for a big loss, the second sack. He didn't go for the fake at all, did he?
They just can't handle Banks today. He's just blowing by people. I don't know if it's missed assignments or not. That had to be. Somebody is supposed to be there even to try to slow him down.
He just split right between the two linemen.
And what happens is, you know, Lomax is not a mobile guy. He's been sacked more than any other quarterback in the last 2 years. So once that happens, he can't run away from trouble. I bet Chip Banks, even though he's maybe 30 or 40 pounds heavy, is faster than him.
It is second down and 18. And a little swing pass out here. Gets very little under the circumstances with Farrell catching the ball. That time Luis Sharp picked up Chip Banks coming in. That was a 5-yard gain, 3rd and long. Tackled by Martin Bayless and the linebacker Gary Plummer. Lomax having a tough afternoon along with everybody else on the Cardinal team.
Yeah, but Jack, I really don't put it on him because he just yet hasn't had a chance. When he's had a chance, he's thrown it. We've seen a couple of drops. Other than that, he's been pressured all the time.
3rd down and 13 out of the shotgun with Kennard to center. 4-man run, 4-man rush. And the pass was caught by Roy Green. Now he apparently came back and missed getting a first down. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Right, Jack. When he caught the ball, he had the first down. You know, and it wasn't a case of him getting driven backwards. He took the step back. If he just stood there and took the hit from the defensive back, he would have had the first down.
Now let's see what kind of forward progress they give him. The ball is at the 40. It's 4th and 1, and the Cardinals are going to go for it. They're 1 out of 1 on 4th down in their previous game. Now the crowd gets into it. Trailing 21-0. The Cardinals want to keep the ball. They have Mitchell and Wolfley in there, along with Farrell. Mitchell gets it. Mitchell made sure with a good takeoff from his right foot going out near the 43-yard line, so the Cardinals keep the ball. They want to get on the board before the halftime. We have 8:10 left in the half.
Well, it's a good call by Stallings. He figures down the way he's down. He better do something to get his team going, give him a little confidence. You know, one thing there is San Diego, I don't think for a while really didn't believe it. They didn't substitute and put their short yardage defense on the field. They had 4 defensive backs out there, and they really couldn't plug all the holes, so that gave St. Louis a chance to make it.
And a first down. Smith is to the right. We haven't seen much of JT. Roy Green to the left. Farrell in motion, running with Mitchell, and he is knocked down in a big hurry. The nose tackle, Mike Charles, really botched things up by making the penetration that he did. Here's what's transpired so far. We have 7:30 left in the half here. Cardinals punted the first time they had it. Lionel James 81 yards on the return, and then the Cardinals fumbled, and Billy Ray Smith recovered, and Fouts set up Anderson and got the touchdown run, and then the pass a moment ago to Chandler from Fouts, and it's 21-0. Meanwhile, the Cardinals have missed a field goal, and they have 2nd and 9 here. And he overthrew Mitchell. Incomplete. 3rd down. That was Lomax's fault. He had Lee Williams coming in on top of him, but he had time, and that was a bad pitch. 3rd and 9. They've gone deep only a couple of times here, and San Diego is suspect in their secondary. St. Louis is only 2 out of 7 on 3rd down, and they were only 4 out of 14 last week, so they're not a very good 3rd down team at this point. 7:03 left in the half. 3rd and 9. Low snap again, but the pass is caught in full stride by Green, Green is out of bounds near the 20-yard line at the 21. Vincey Glenn bumped him out of bounds. And Green was in the middle of that pattern and was in full stride when he caught that 36-yard pass.
Well, it's an all-out blitz. They get 8 guys coming, even though it's the third low snap that Lomax had a handle in the shotgun. Here comes Green across the field. Man-to-man coverage. They had to cover him because everybody else is blitzing. And when you do that to Roy Green and you don't get there to Neil Lomax, you're going to pay for it. And they just paid for it.
To the 21 of the Chargers. Green gets a little breather. He likes this turf field. The AstroTurf bothers him a lot. He's caught 5. 129 yards. Don Holmes is the wide receiver at the moment. He comes in motion. Here is a delay to Mitchell. A couple of blockers, including Bostic, and he gets some yards. Joe Bostic, number 71, was leading the play. 6:47 left in the half.
Tackle by Ty Allard.
Mitchell got 5. Ty Allard, inside linebacker, the tackler. There's Gene Stallings. He felt pretty good about coming into this game, but look at it. He's down 21-0.
Well, when you get down right off the bat on a punt return like that, and then you get poor field position like they did at the beginning of the game, you can't do the things you want to do. You know, you can't get into your game plan when you're down 14-0.
The ball at the 16. There's Al Saunders, shirt and tie and all, enjoying the lead, but not this current Cardinal drive. Novacek sets up on the left side, and Holmes comes in motion. Here's a give to Mitchell, tripped up, slowed down, gets outside, gets a block. He's to the 10. Going to be 3rd down and about a yard. That was a 6-yard gain. Billy Ray Smith, Vincey Glenn tackled it. And he might have got a 1st down. He did. He set it down just outside the 10. 6:15 left in the half. 21-0 Chargers.
It's hot out there today. You can see it. It's starting to take its toll already.
1st and 10. It is not 1st and goal. The blitz is on again. It's picked up, and the pass is thrown away. Roy Green had slipped down. It's wet in the end zone down.
Yeah, but again, it looked like a mental mistake. About the only guy in the pattern was Green, and he slipped down in the back of the end zone.
And that's when Lomax threw it away, and it's 2nd and 10. I have a hunch we might see something of J.T. Smith right here. He's number 84 over on the right side and in the slot. And Lomax swings it out here, and he overthrew Mitchell. Coming up to meet him was the safety man, Martin Bayless. Lee Williams was putting on pressure, and it's 3rd and 10. Cardinals misfiring on a golden opportunity here. 5:55 remaining in the 1st half. Cardinal offensive line is Sharp, Bostic, Kennard, Lance Smith, and Tootie Robbins. Mitchell goes out. Now Roy Green is in the slot. J.T. Smith wide right. Don Holmes to the left. The blitz is on again, and another low snap and another sack. Derek Kennard with his 4th bad snap, and that's the 3rd time they have sacked Lomax.
And Lomax, in disgust when the play was all over, picked up the ball and fired it into the ground. Technically, that's a penalty in this league, but I think Jim Tunney felt so bad for him.
He felt the same way.
He said, Jay, hey, I don't blame you, kid. Go ahead. Now he's talking to his center. He said, hey, listen, that's a double play ball. That's a 6-4-3 you just passed back to me. You know, we got to start getting it right.
Ball at the San Diego 24. It was on the 10. Here's another field goal try by Jim Gallery. He's 0 for 1 today.
Well, he might feel better out here. He might be better off trying one from out here than in close.
It's a 41-yard try with Stout holding the ball. Maybe it's a fake. San Diego in there very tight. The 42-yard try, and he missed that one. Well, the Cardinals are still blanked with 4:56 remaining in the half. San Diego has the only points, and they have 21 of them. 4:56 left in the half.
I'm not going to take the blame for this. I've been a switchboard operator for 14 years, thank you very much. And just because someone at the top brings in a new phone system, it's so complicated that no one can operate it. Well, that's not my fault. Just to transfer a call, I've got to start 3, then 7, then push 3 of those feature buttons. And even then, I get the wrong person. It's ridiculous. It doesn't take a genius to know that a phone system that's causing all that trouble is losing you money. If you ask me, they should just scratch the whole system and cut their losses before it's too late.
In 1973, a small bar served the first light beer. The response was unanimous.
Tastes great.
Here was a beer with its own special brewing process.
Less filling.
It's brewed to be light with only the finest quality ingredients.
Tastes great. It's less filling.
Today there are lots of lights around, but none are brewed like Miller Lite, and none can match the taste.
Taste great!
For great taste, there's only one light beer, Miller Lite.
Some of the world's most celebrated milers will take to one of the world's most celebrated streets, the Mercedes Mile on 5th Avenue, next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Any good milers out there who want to join in? It's the Mercedes Mile on CBS Sports next Saturday. Some of the most celebrated milers in the world: Steve Ovett, Eamon Coughlin, Steve Scott. The Mercedes Mile on 5th Avenue, New York, next Saturday at 2 Eastern, 3 Pacific time here on CBS Sports. Ball at their 24, and a quick pass to Lionel James. And a gain of about 9 yards. The Cardinal tackler tried to strip the ball, but couldn't get it done. James is as little as he looks on your screen. He is 5'7" and 170 pounds. Tackled by E.J. Jr. On that last drive, the Cardinals ran 14 plays, kept the ball for almost 6 minutes, and came away empty on their second missed field goal of the day. 2nd and 1. Spencer in motion. Anderson a first down. Out to the 36. Noga was the tackler on that last play, and it takes us up to 4 minutes left in the half. And see what Fouts comes up with on first down. And the tight end caught the ball. That's Pete Holohan. He caught 3 last week in a losing cause, and he's a big guy at 6'4". He went up and caught it. 12-yard pickup. The big difference that we can see here, Will McDonough, is the protection that Fouts is getting. The Cardinals have almost given up trying to get to him with a straight rush.
Jack, that's the storyline of this game right now, and what we talked about at the beginning. They can't get to Fouts, but the charges can get to Lomax, and that's why the score is the way it is.
And it's a first down at the 48 for San Diego. And it's still a 4-man rush. And the pass is caught by Chandler. Chandler over the coverage of Carl Carter. And Fouts is hot. He's pitching a very good game here today.
Well, Gene Stallings told us last night in the hotel that they were going to come out and they were going to show some defenses to San Diego and to Fouts that they hadn't seen either on tape or last year late in the season from the Cubs. I think because the way the score has gone, he hasn't had the opportunity to do that. He's just got to stand back there in defense and hope the Fouts doesn't pick him apart.
And he has 3 safety men in there now on first down. So on the ground to Anderson. Oh, how'd you like that for a tackle? You talk about throwing your body in there. And that was the rookie, Travis Curtis, out of West Virginia. Folks in St. Louis probably haven't seen much of him, and he stopped him after a 2-yard gain. He went in there with abandon, didn't he?
Well, that's the 3-5-3. I think that's the first time they've used it in the game, and they wanted to use it extensively. But
and,
here we are.
Fouts went right to the running game when he saw that.
When he looked up and he didn't recognize it, he checked off and said, let's take a run and go back and think about it. What are they trying to do out there to us?
Now Holohan and Winslow are both in there, 2 tight ends. 2nd and 8. Fouts to Spencer. And the linebacker was right there to make a strong hit. Anthony Bell. A pickup of 3. 3rd and long.
Stop by number 55, Anthony Bell.
Clock running to 2:40 left in the half. 3rd wide receiver, Jamie Holland, comes in. Kellen Winslow, number 80, the tight end of San Diego, the young man from East St. Louis. His mother and father still live there. His brothers and sisters in the area. His brother lives out in University City. And he is hale and hearty and tough to stop. Colin Scotts is in defensively for St. Louis with a pass rush. They don't get to Fouts, and the pass is incomplete. He overthrew the 3rd receiver, Jamie Holland. So it's 4th down. One of the few times that the Chargers have misfired today.
Well, his primary target there was James coming out of the backfield. He circled over the middle, but St. Louis did a good job of picking it up. So then he had to go to his other looks, and he made the toughest throw he had. But just a little bit lower, he might have had the completion.
Ralph Mojenko is going to be doing the punting. He averaged almost 44 yards a kick in the first game. This is his 2nd punt today. Gets a good snap. Left-footed kicker. Cardinals will let it go. Chargers could down it. They get a good bounce. Yep. With 2 minutes left in the half, precisely 2 minutes left in the half, they have downed the ball at the Cardinal 5-yard line. So the Cardinals have 2 minutes to go 95 yards. And Dennis McKnight got downfield to down that punt.
Hello. Well, to help pay off that second on his house, Ed has opened up a fruit stand on the side. But the best seller turns out not to be a fruit at all, but the Bartles & James Premium Red Fruit-Flavored Cooler. Ed says this is because it tastes like the best of all these fruit flavors put together, only all in a single bottle. So look for Ed's new fruit-flavored Premium Red Cooler in the produce section of your store. If it's not there, it'll sure be around someplace. Thank you for your support.
Do you have anything in aviation?
The Army's most technical training
Are there any openings in communications?
is also the Army's most popular training.
I'd really like computers.
So it pays to have a reservation.
Electronics.
If you qualify, you can get a guaranteed reservation for the training you want up to 12 months in advance, even if you're still in high school.
All that you can be.
We'll see you after graduation.
Find your future in the arts.
Congratulations.
When you're in the market for an imported luxury sedan, you're in among cars costing serious, very serious money. And just when there seems no end, Mitsubishi introduces the new Galant Sigma with a wealth of features, including 3-liter V6 power and ABS anti-lock braking, all for well under $20,000. The new Galant Sigma, a serious luxury sedan at a price that's not too serious. Mitsubishi, suddenly the obvious choice.
The skies come alive. The Giants Sims, the Dolphins Marino, or the 49ers Montana. The quarterbacks attack next Sunday on CBS Sports.
Will McDonough, Jack Buck with you from Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. The ball rests at the Cardinals' 6-yard line. 2 minutes left in the half. And there's the new center, Mike Ruther.
Mike Ruther's wondering what's waiting for him because Derek Kennard had a very, very tough time. 4 poor snaps out of shotgun situations. They're taking him out of the game. And I think we have to give a little credit to Mike Charles, who was playing across the line from Derek Kennard. Charles is a big guy. He's over 300 pounds. He's sitting right in front of him. He was stuffing it to him every time on 3rd down. And I think after a while, Kennard was worrying more about Charles than he was about the snap.
Let's see what kind of a snap we get from Ruther here on 1st down. Motion by Novacek. Inside handoff to Farrell. Flag goes down. That'll be the first penalty of the day, and the ball is out to the 12-yard line. That's first penalty, Will.
I shouldn't have said anything, Jack.
Yeah.
When we went to the break, I said we haven't had a penalty in this game, and out comes the flag.
Holding.
They threw it right in front of Tootie Robbins.
So it negates a 6-yard gain. Half the distance. The ball will be at the 3. That's the first time we've heard Jim Tunney. Who was that penalty against?
Did they give us a number?
Was Tootie Robbins.
That's where they threw it. You know, when a guy holds, he sort of doesn't want to look the flag, even though they throw it right at his feet.
So it is first down and 13. Snap had better be a good one in this territory, hadn't it? It is. And incomplete. Came very close to a safety. That ball was touched by Lee Williams. You know what the penalty is for grounding the ball in the end zone, don't you? That's a safety. Came very close to that. So it'll be second and 13. 1:49 remaining in the half. 21-0 San Diego. San Diego lost their first game to Kansas City 20-13 because of a kickoff return by Paul Palmer, and the Cardinals came from behind to defeat Dallas 24-13. Second down here. Four-man rush. And that's going to be intercepted. Oh, it's broken up by Green, and he darn near caught it. You talk about an aggressive play. Waiting for the ball was Gil Bird, and Green broke it up and almost got it. It was some play.
I think that's about the only thing Lomax was comfortable with. You get it up there, throw it up in the air. This is a matchup you want. Green adjusts to the ball, almost makes the play. You want Green against Bird, man on man all day long, because Bird is not that fast.
Third and 13. J.T. Smith, the other wide receiver, who is quite an accomplished ball catcher, has caught none. He had 5 last week.
Well, St. Louis doesn't get something here. They might have just played themselves out of the game because they're going to have to punt out of the end zone. And San Diego have a minute and a half to knock it back in from good field position.
Third and long, and the pass is intercepted. Billy Ray Smith. First and goal. Billy Ray Smith walked in front of it. His dad is here from Arkansas. His father was a great player before him in the National Football League. And San Diego has a chance to make it 28-0. They have plenty of time. 1:34 remaining in the half. And there's Lomax, and he was picked off twice last week and gets it today, and he knew he made a mistake. Should have thrown that one away also. From the 7, Lionel James. Touchdown. He got in there. Didn't take him long, did it? They just blew St. Louis right off of the ball.
Jack, this is a play that's really unique to the San Diego Chargers. They developed it. This is sort of like an option play with Lionel James playing the role of an option quarterback. Fouts, turns, hands to him. As you saw the way he's running around the end with the ball in front of him, he was ready to pitch to Anderson or keep it. He decided to keep it. He took it right in the end zone for the score.
Extra point try by Vince Abbott. Second touchdown of the day for Lionel James. The first one on an 81-yard punt return. 28-0. 1:28 remaining in the half. And a holding penalty hurt the Cardinals a while ago.
Only you.
Just because you've washed your car doesn't mean you're finished. After each wash, you need some Armor All on the dash, the bumper, and especially the tires. Armor All. It's the finishing touch every time you wash your car.
You're my dream.
And now, get new Clean Start free when you buy Armor All Protectant. Clean Start, only from Armor All Products.
One word distinguishes the American Express card from the others. Member.
Here's the choreography.
To us, Mr. Ryan is a member.
So excited.
And at American Express, our card members are entitled to a world of privileges.
Don't stop now. You gotta keep it going all night.
We lost our card, our cash.
Even our passport. You've come to the right place. I can help you.
That's great.
Aren't you glad we stayed an extra day?
I'm glad we have the American Express card. She's so lovely.
reminds me of you.
Members carry our promise of respect, recognition, unsurpassed personal service. Membership has its privileges. To apply for membership, look for this display and take one.
This is the 5th kickoff for San Diego. They lead 28-0 with 1:28 remaining in the half. And at halftime, we're going to join Brent Musburger and Irv Cross, scores and highlights, some surprising scores, and a crossroads story about the Giants and the Cowboys. And last time I looked, the Cowboys were leading that game over the New York Giants, and Brent will get you right up to date on that. There's the last scoring drive. What it was an effective punt, then a holding call, then an interception. This ball bobbled around, picked up by one of the up men across the 30-yard line, and running with the ball is Earl Farrell out near the 35. Dallas leading by 3 in the second quarter, but Brent will tell you how it got that way. Meanwhile, the Cardinals are being demolished out here, and Lomax back in. He still has plenty of time and 2 timeouts. The St. Louis 33. And I'm still wondering where J.T. Smith fits into the plan here, because we know they're giving double coverage to Roy Green, who's on the left side.
It's a very tough time to use a possession receiver when you're down 28-0. You got to get it to the guy that makes the big plays.
Here is the swing pass out to Farrell. The big fullback moves across the 40-yard line. Hurry up offense for St. Louis. See, Dallas leading 10-7 second quarter. Brent Musburger and Irv Cross will tell you all about that one and all about the other games. A lot of finals have already been posted. Second down. Lomax got away, and it's a first down pass to Smith inside the 40 to the 35. Now St. Louis calls timeout with 51 seconds left in the half. 24-yard game. Lee Williams was after Lomax. He got away from him and completed the pass.
And number 25, Betsy Glenn. In at 23 yards on a pass play.
The Van Patten family loves their cars.
And they trust us to take care of them.
Every 3,000 miles, we bring them to Jiffy Lube. They change the oil with quality Pennzoil, replace the filter, lube the chassis, fill the important fluids.
Check the air filter and wiper blades. Inflate the tires. Vacuum the interior.
And wash the windows.
14 quality services in 10 minutes and with no appointment.
Welcome to Jiffy Lube. We'll take care of you like family.
Cardinals are on the move. They've had 2 field goal misses of 30 yards and 42 yards. And they're trailing 28-0. They have a first down at the Charger 35. After taking the kickoff. And they move the ball down the field with J.T. Smith catching his first of the day. Green and Holmes come to the left. Now Holmes goes to the right side. Novacek is on a wing. 4-man rush. Lomax steps up and throws, and incomplete. Diving in trying to get it was Vincey Glenn, intended for Holmes, who dropped one earlier. Second and 10. 47 seconds left in the half. San Diego playing it rather loose, very deep back there, Will.
Yeah, they're in a prevent defense, which usually just prevents you from stopping the completion, in my opinion. I don't know why when you pass rush the guy all day, you get pressure on him, all of a sudden you back off, even if you are ahead 28-0.
Ruther snaps the ball.
And here they come.
And the pass into the end zone is overthrown and incomplete. Tried to get it to Roy Green. And there was good coverage, very tight coverage on him that time. Vincey Glenn and Danny Walters were both there. Walters is number 23 defensively for San Diego. That's quite a story on him. He's had his problems.
He's had his problems in his career, and again this week being involved with drugs after the game against last weekend. They come home and he come out of Kansas City. They picked him up at 3 o'clock the next morning. They charged him. The police did with driving under. They found drugs on him. They've had him in rehab all week with their team physician and with the league doctor, and then they bring him out to play here again today.
Third down and 10. Farrell and Mitchell in the backfield. Green to the left, Smith to the right. Over the middle and short of a first down, caught by the tight end Novacek. Cardinals have only one timeout remaining. They're going to hang on to it. No, they're going to call it. The Cardinals. That's the last timeout for the Cardinals with 30 seconds left in the half. It's 4th and 1. From Musburger, busy in the studio compiling all those scores. He's put some highlights together for you. And the feature story, the Giants and the Cowboys, they're meeting one another this afternoon. And do you think the Giants have a problem after being knocked about by the Bears Monday night, Will McDonough?
I thought the Dallas would have more of a problem this year, Jack, because everybody you talk to in pro football that has seen the Cowboys play say they are not the Cowboys. In fact, one of the San Diego people told me he thought now that Dallas was in the bottom 5 of the league.
Talk about the strike, Will. Is there going to be one?
There's going to be a strike, Jack, and they'll go out Tuesday, and how soon they come back depends on how much money the players are making. I think what you're going to see is guys who are making big money. A guy like Lomax, he's out there today. For every game he misses, he loses $56,000. On the other side of the ball, you get Fouts, makes $750,000 a year. Every game he misses, it's about $48,000 it costs him. Now, I don't know how those guys want to stay out game to game to game, losing that kind of money. It doesn't, to the average guy, that's not reality, particularly since there isn't an issue they want to go to strike about.
Predict how long the strike will last.
Well, I think you're going to see it go about 10 days. I think that the players are convinced that they have to show the owners with a strike, eliminate next week's game. But I think there's going to be an awful lot of pressure to come back with the regulars on October 4th.
4th down and 1 for St. Louis. Quarterback sneak, and Lomax picks up the first down. Clock is running. They can't stop it. They line up quickly. Trailing 28-0. They get a first down at the 25, and the Lomax spiked the ball. That's incomplete. Now, they talked about that this year. The quarterback can do that. Just drill it into the ground to stop the clock.
That's right. And that more or less evolved out of what they do at the end of the games. Instead of simply falling on the ball, right, you can throw it down and do that to stop the clock. You know, it's not an intentional grounding. They did that because, you know, when guys were just falling on the ball at the end of the half or the end of the game, you know, somebody might take a shot at him. This gives the quarterback a chance. He can do that. That's a smart play on Lomax's part.
Of course, he's got to throw it forward, otherwise it'll be a lateral. It's first down here, and he goes up on top in a battle in the end zone, and incomplete. He tried to get the ball to Roy Green again, and Danny Walters was covering him. 13 seconds left in the half. San Diego got 14 points in the first quarter and 14 more in this period. Third down and 10. Here's one down to stop the clock. Another one incomplete. They've been bad on third down today. They were 4 out of 14 last week and 3 out of 11 this week. Cardinals need 10 yards to keep the ball, and they go to the other corner, and it is broken up at the last minute. Gilbert got his hand on the ball, which was about to nestle in the arms of Roy Green. It's 4th down, 7 seconds left.
Well, he's looking for Green all the way. He just throws the ball out there. I'm surprised you get this kind of coverage again with Green. It looks as though it's going to be completed. Here comes Bird across. He was just laying back there. If he was out in the middle of the field, maybe he would have tried for an interception, Jack. But he figured at that point in time he just had to knock the ball away.
Pretty lucky to get there as it was. The ball had been thrown another step. It would have been a touchdown. It is 4th down. 7 seconds left in the half. And the Cardinals, who have missed 2 field goal tries, are going to go for broke.
They got to get it in the end zone. I mean, there's no sense not getting in the end zone. You don't have any timeouts left. You got to get it in the end zone.
The defense is very deep. It's still a 4-man front. And it is caught, but the play ends at the 5 and time is out. Smith caught it. And the half came to a close at the 5-yard line. San Diego will receive the second half kickoff, and these 53,000 here, most of them rooting for the Chargers, enjoy the action. 14 points in each quarter. That's the end of the first half with the score. The Chargers 28 and the St. Louis Cardinals nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the U.S. Army, a place to be all you can be. The Bartles & James Premium Wine Cooler Company. And by AT&T, the right choice.
When investors wanted to reduce the high risk and high tech, Prudential Bates created Prutech 1 and 2.
This has real potential.
Select portfolios built on identifying promising products and companies on the leading edge of scientific frontiers.
This new process is incredible.
A first of its kind for the personal investor and a way to share in the growth available through technologies.
All right, let's go.
If anyone can show you a more advanced approach towards new and better ways to make money, it's Prudential Bates Securities. Rock solid, market-wise.
No better value.
Right. The new Tandy 1000 TX is made in the USA and has incredible speed at an unbelievably low price.
Speed?
6 times the speed of the PCXT, so you're more productive at home or work. It's ready to run on a built-in 3.5-inch disk drive, and we give you 7 PC programs, including word processing, filing, and spreadsheet.
That is better value.
Tandy Computers, because there is no better value. Only at Radio Shack.
Autumn is football, and the champions of autumn are on CBS Sports. Next Saturday, the force of Chris Spielman and 5th-ranked Ohio State collides with 4th-ranked LSU. Next Sunday, it starts with the NFL Today. Then the skies come alive. The Giants' Phil Simms, the Dolphins' Dan Marino, or the 49ers' Joe Montana. The quarterbacks attack. Next weekend, the champions of autumn are on CBS Sports.
Well, tonight, New York, everybody. I'm Brett Musburger with Irv Cross. Irv, an upset down in Atlanta. The Falcons stunned the Washington Redskins.
They stunned them. You know, Doug Williams threw for 3 touchdown passes, but they botched an extra point, and that was it.
It was. You know, they didn't miss Schrader as a quarterback, but they missed him as a holder on that snap, and 21-20, the Falcons with a win. The rest of the scores for you now. Philadelphia over New Orleans, 27-17. The Eagles forced 5 turnovers in that game. Cleveland over Pittsburgh, and the final in that game was 34-10, so the Browns go to 1-1. San Francisco, in stunning fashion, beats Cincinnati 27-26. No time left on the clock. Joe Montana throws a 25-yard touchdown pass to Jerry Rice, and they kick the extra point. Miami over Indianapolis 23-10. 3 more touchdown passes for Dan Marino in that game. Buffalo wins in the final minute. Jim Kelly throws 3 touchdown passes. A 10-yarder was the winner, that one to Ronnie Harmon. Denver and Green Bay, they slug it out for 5 quarters, 17-17 in the rain in Milwaukee. A tremendous performance by the Packers in that game. Chicago over Tampa Bay, 23 was the final. Walter Payton, 107 career rushing touchdowns. That breaks Jimmy Brown's standard. Now, games in progress out west. The Vikings over the Rams, as the Greek predicted, 14-0 there in the second quarter late. Detroit and the Raiders, the Greek didn't predict this one. The Lions 7 and his Raiders 6 second quarter. San Diego and St. Louis, as you know, the Chargers big 28-0 in that game so far. Seattle bouncing back from the disappointment of a week ago in Denver, 17-7 over the Chiefs. Dallas and the Giants, and the Cowboys stunning the Giants. Irv, what's the story in that game?
I'll tell you, injuries and turnovers. Phil Simms in the first half threw so far 10 for 16 for 139 yards and 3 interceptions. Here's one by Bill Bates. He picks that off, goes 22 yards, setting up the Cowboys touchdown. The Giants are suffering from something they didn't have last year, Brent.
Now, who have they lost to injuries?
Well, okay, Joe Morris has a concussion, and Chris Godfrey, the starting guard, has a bad knee. He'll probably be out.
So they've lost a couple of offensive linemen already this year. And the NFL Today continues on CBS after these messages from your local stations.
Tonight, if you've been starved for baffling mystery, puzzling intrigue, gripping suspense, rest easy, Jessica's back.
I can't wait.
On the season premiere of Murder, She Wrote. Then, the story of a man and his wife, a man and his girlfriend, and a problem.
I'm pregnant. I'm pregnant.
Dudley Moore, Anne Reinking, and Amy Irving. Mickey and Maude, tonight on CBS.
This is CBS.
Welcome back to our studios. As you all know, we face the very real prospect of an NFL strike tomorrow night. Now, in any labor dispute, there are always two sides to the story, but I have to say that my sympathies here are with the players. You know, professional football is more than a game. It's the most violent industry in this country, and with the increases in size and speed, it gets more violent every year. The average career of an NFL player is now down to 3.7 years, which doesn't allow much time to build up a nest egg. So the NFL players definitely need better working conditions and an improved pension plan. But in terms of winning the support of the fans, striking in the midst of a season is the worst possible course of action. There is, I think, another way for the players to get their message across and give their demands the impact they need. They should agree to play the games, all the games. That way the fans will not be cheated, and all the innocent victims of a strike, from the parking lot attendants to the pretzel vendors, will not be denied their sources of income. But the players' cooperation would stop there. They could refuse to take part in the NFL's well-oiled publicity machine. No interviews for press or television. No public appearances off the field of any kind. No communication whatsoever with the management officials who seek to promote the game and their teams. Now for the sticky issue of free agency. Absolute free agency probably would destroy the fabric of the NFL as we know it. My feeling is that when a Phil Simms, who has a huge contract and ample opportunity to play, takes his team to the Super Bowl, he doesn't necessarily have the right to turn around and offer himself at auction to another franchise. On the other hand, I sympathize with Doug Williams. He has paid off handsomely as an insurance policy for the Redskins, but at what price to his career? Certainly the Raiders or others could have used him as a starter. He's a prisoner of the system as it now stands. And I suggest coming up with some formula by which the understudies and the non-glamour players could try to better themselves according, of course, to what the market bears. I'm sure there are a lot of other valid suggestions out there, which is precisely my point. Keep the dialogue moving. And with some give and take, a strike that no one wants can be averted. Now let's send you back to the stadium and the games you're enjoying this afternoon on CBS.
We're back here at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego with a score 28-0 in favor of the Chargers. They scored 14 points in the first quarter, and then they did the same the second. The Cardinals have shown some ability to move the ball up and down the field. They're piling up some yards, but they have missed 2 field goal attempts, and they are blanked on the scoreboard. And the San Diego State University Marching Band entertains the folks here at the half, and their football team is entertaining them as well. CBS Sports coverage of NFL football will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Come on, he's on down the road. Come on, he's on down the road.
Today's harder working 4-cylinder engines demand extra protection against friction. Valvoline 4-cylinder formula delivers. To help keep your 4-cylinder engine from wearing out, make sure it's Valvoline you're pouring in. Valvoline 4-cylinder formula high-performance motor oil.
Come on, he's on down the road.
Motor oil is not just motor oil.
Wood Finish by Minwax penetrates deep into wood, so it's easy to get beautiful results. Bring out wood's rich, warm glow with Wood Finish by Minwax.
Minwax makes wood beautiful.
What a smart person. You bought Sylvania soft white light bulbs, which last 50 hours longer than ordinary soft white bulbs at no extra cost.
Sylvania, where the best comes to light.
Please volunteer for the American Red Cross.
Keeps America beautiful to see. Don't you know who? It's you and me. We will keep you bright as new. This is what we promise you. USA. Who keeps America beautiful to see? Don't you know who? It's you and you and you and me.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Miller Genuine Draft, cold filtered draft beer. It's as real as it gets. IBM. And by Ryder, We're there at every turn.
San Diego State University band still entertaining, and the teams are just starting to come back onto the field. Jack Buck and Will McDonough, there's the score, 28-0. The one subject, Will, that I don't think we've talked enough about is that pending strike, and you are convinced that we've got one on our hands after the Monday night game tomorrow.
Well, I think there's no question, Jack, that they're going to go out on strike this week. And like we said during the broadcast in the first half, I think they'll stay out. I think the critical point will come about 10 days from now, when the players that are making a lot of money have to make a decision on how long they want to stay out.
You think they'll pressure the others to come back in?
Well, I don't think they'll pressure the others. I think you'll start seeing, you know, I was through the 82 strike. I'm old enough to be through 75, 74, and this is a repeat. And history repeats itself. And I think in the last strike situations, you saw where players who didn't want to be on strike, and let me tell you, the majority of players in this league do not want to be on strike, would come out and make statements like, I want to go back. And they'd put pressure back on the leadership of the union. And I think more so than I've ever seen before, even before they got to the strike deadline, players were saying, I want to play, I don't want to go out on strike. So it'd be tough for the union leadership to keep them out.
With regard to this game, Neil Lomax has already thrown the ball 29 times. He is likely to set a club record. 52 is a club record. Whether it's going to do any good or not is hard to tell. Well,
it's going to be difficult for St. Louis to get back in the game because as so far they have no running attack. You know, they haven't really done anything with the ball. Down 28-0, you can't go back to the run, so you got to throw on every occasion. And the way San Diego has been pressuring Lomax, you know he's going to be hitting this second half.
With or without the blitzing, they're getting right on top of Lomax. And he's going to take some hits in all probability. Meanwhile, the first points of this game came. St. Louis took the opening kickoff, had to punt, and here's what happened.
Here's Lionel James. Now, this is an unusual situation in that San Diego had almost everybody on the line of scrimmage to block the punt. You should never get a punt return for a touchdown when you're up there trying to block it. But James, with one little move you saw at the beginning of the run, isolated about 4 or 5 guys coming downfield on coverage. So when he broke out, here come all the San Diego guys to give him the blocking you've seen at the end of the run.
And the Cardinal punter, Greg Cater, had the last crack at him. He'll live to play another day. Lionel James later got a rushing touchdown, but here's the pass to Chandler for 6.
Oh, great adjustment here by Fouch. You saw him looking right. Here's the pump fake. Now that stops everybody in the deep secondary. Now he unloads. Here's Chandler. Okay, you saw the defensive backs had that back turn.
Cedric Mack.
And oh, look at the adjustment that Chandler makes in the air. He turns around, keeps the defender off with his body, and makes the catch.
But the big item is time. Fouts has had time to throw. He takes all the time that he needs, unloads it quickly if need be, but makes the use of the time, and he finds that second or third receiver as he did on the touchdown pass. Meanwhile, Lomax has always had people in his face.
Well, if the second half goes like the first, Lomax is going to need help to get out of bed tomorrow, and Danny Fouts can go out and play 18 and not have to worry about it because nobody's hit him today.
The interception he threw is really a big hurt on the Cardinals.
Well, I don't know if he saw Billy Ray Smith because he was looking to throw a hook pattern. Okay, now he starts up. Watch the spin in front of him. The guy gets right in front of his face. D. Hodgson, right? Does he see Smith coming across? I don't think so. He was looking outside. Billy Ray Smith makes the play.
And that set up the last touchdown. So Lomax and company have a long second half in front of them, and in addition, they'll be kicking off to start the second half, and the Cardinal defense has to hold forth, and they haven't done that either.
Well, Dan Fouts has everything his own way right now. He's got a 28-0 lead. He doesn't have to press. If he wants to pass and the pass isn't there, he just simply throws it away. He's smart enough to do that. He doesn't have to gamble.
How about his running game?
Well, now he can work out his running game a little bit. You know, he does have people that can run the ball. They like to throw it, but I think here in the second half, they're going to keep on the ground and not make the kind of turnover that can get St. Louis back into the game.
There's Gene Stallings. He doesn't take kindly to these proceedings, and you know, after a win over Dallas, you'd think his club would be on a very high plane, but they came out here kind of sleepwalking on the very first series of plays. They didn't get anything done.
Jack, you're from St. Louis. I'm not. Are they a good grass team? To me, when I watch them in the first quarter, they look like they're in slow motion.
Maybe that's one of the big items.
I don't know how good they are on grass. There's some teams that just are not good.
Gallery kicks off, and that's what they like about him. He has missed 2 field goals today, but he can thump it out of the end zone. as he just did. He's their 6th kicker in the last 2 years in St. Louis. But if you can't kick field goals, why kicking over the end zone is not going to keep you on a team.
Well, Gallery was in New England. He tried out with the Patriots. At the same time, Tony Franklin, who's one of the finest place kickers in the league, was in a contract holdup. Gallery got a chance to play. The fans loved him because he could kick it out of the end zone. But still, the Patriots had to go with Franklin because in the past 3 years, he's been a great field goal kicker for them.
You know how many penalties we had in the first half? Only 1 against St. Louis. From the 20-yard line, here's the first down pass by Fouts. He's not going to sit on it, is he? And it's right out in the crease to Wes Chandler again. Chandler slid right between a couple of people, including Travis Curtis, the rookie, and Carl Carter, number 41. That was a 19-yard pickup, and it looked easy.
Well, normally what happens in a situation like that, when you have veteran players like Chandler here and Fouts, I would anticipate Chandler went to him at the half and say, Dan, I can get this certain route. Here's the defense they usually play on first down. If we go to it, I think I can have it.
Now a first down run by Gary Anderson up the middle and outside. Fumble, and St. Louis got it. Did they? It looked like St. Louis. Lonnie Young almost had it for a moment, but then it was recovered. The hit was by Bell. Young almost had it, and then Chandler recovered. So Chandler is very much in this game after doing very little last week. Ball at the 42-yard line and a 4-yard pickup. That was the kind of break St. Louis needed, but they didn't get.
You look at this game so far, San Diego has not made a mistake. They haven't had a penalty. They haven't had an interception.
No fumbles.
No
that
fumbles.
Was the first one, and they didn't lose it.
Their special teams have played well. They didn't give up a punt return for the touch. On the other side, St. Louis has had, you know, a key penalty, an interception, 2 big drop balls. Okay, and 4 bad snaps from center, which, as you saw, St. Louis has changed the center late in the second period and brought in Mike Ruther.
Cardinals haven't done very well on the grass fields. They're 2-8 since 1984. They are an AstroTurf team. They're going to replay that fumble and see if it stands. And
they're just going to make sure that you know, it is a legitimate fumble and see what happens here. Chandler comes in and pulls the ball right out.
And here is Spencer breaking a tackle, breaking another, and moving out to the 45-yard line before he is stopped. First by Bob Clasby, and then by Leonard Smith, who makes the bulk of the tackles on the Cardinal club. A gain of 3 and a third down play coming up. We're at the outset of the second half, 28-0 Chargers. They're trying to get even on the series, on the season, and the Cardinals trying to win their second game. There are no early indications that they're going to get back into it unless they can force San Diego to punt right here and do something in a hurry. Stay on the ground with Anderson. He breaks loose, gets a first down, and tackled at the St. Louis 30-yard line. That was a surprise third down call, and it worked with Gary Anderson running for 25.
Well, this is the great ability of Anderson. You know, here's a simple sweep. A simple sweep, but he can pick any spot he wants. Now watch him look. He sees the cutback. The 2 linebackers for St. Louis, particularly Nova, overreacts to the outside, trying to respect his speed. He cuts it all the way back up in. He tries to split the 2 safety men. Almost took it all the way.
And the ball is at the 30. So the Cardinals are reeling again. A full house backfield. And a toss to Anderson. Spencer blocking and good hitting by St. Louis that time. Leonard Smith was in the middle of it along with John Preston and Bob Clasby. 3-yard gain. That's quite a call by San Diego on third down. Caught the Cardinals with the extra defensive backs and everybody backpedaling as Anderson was running.
What San Diego's done here in the second half, Jack, is come out and use a few formations already that they didn't use in the first half. And I think this has surprised St. Louis a little bit, trying to recognize the formation and adjust the defense.
Fouts on second down, and the pass complete. Anderson again. First down, first and goal. As Anderson's all over the place. You folks in St. Louis probably haven't seen much of him. He's from Columbia, Missouri, and he can do everything. He just picked up 18 on the pass play. And it is first and goal. Ball is just inside the 10. We'll call it the 10. Chargers have kept the ball for 3.5 minutes. Tackling not very good by the Cardinals that time. And a toss to Anderson and a fumble. Loose ball, and the Cardinals think they have it. The Cardinals do have it. That's the first mistake of the day for San Diego on a somewhat of a low toss to Anderson, and he dropped it.
I don't know if the toss was that bad, Jack. It looked to me like he, even though we're far away from the action, looks to me like he takes his eyes off the ball to look and see where it's going to go. It's be tough to tell. Watch, that's right out in front of him.
Oh yeah, perfect.
But watch his head. See, even though we're looking from behind, it looked as though he had his head up to see where he was going to go. It'd be like a pass receiver trying to turn upfield and run with it before he got it.
And Lonnie Young recovered at the St. Louis 13-yard line. And out come the Cardinals for the first time in the second half with the ball. Lomax with Ruther at center. Handing off to Earl Farrell. And the end forced to play way outside. That was Williams. And Farrell couldn't turn upfield. 1-yard gain. By the way, the New York Mets are winning their game. They're ahead 8-7 in the top of the 12th at Pittsburgh. Cardinals won their game. Montreal lost.
Gain of a yard on the carry.
Get some American League scores for you perhaps a bit later on. 11:20 left in the third quarter. 2nd and 9, St. Louis. Farrell in motion. And a short dump off pass to Mitchell is good for a few yards. You said it, you know, the Cardinals, some of the Cardinal players, Roy Green in particular, complains about playing on the AstroTurf. But they might be an AstroTurf football team.
There are a lot of teams in the league that are AstroTurf teams, and I think almost all your dome stadium teams, you know, like you talk about going into Seattle and Detroit's great at home. Minnesota's got a good record. It's like a gimmick if you got the dome stadium and you got the turf. I think a lot of teams just play well in turf, and some of them don't play well on grass. In St. Louis, the speed here of the San Diego defense completely got St. Louis overmatched.
3rd down and 4. Outside, caught by Mitchell for a first down. One of the defenders fell down, and Mitchell is out to the 39-yard line. Vincie Glenn wrapped him up, and one of the Cardinal players is slow in getting up, and that's guard Joe Bostic. Well, Bostic, who moved from right guard to left guard, is going to have to leave the field for at least a play as they stop the clock because of his injury. And coming in is Todd Pete. Take a look at the newcomer coming in for St. Louis, number 64, a rookie out of Northern Illinois. He'll play that left tackle spot. We'll get a picture of Todd Pete for you. He was a number 11 draft pick of St. Louis and a surprise performer. He is big, man. He is at 300 pounds. These guards are getting bigger and bigger all the time, aren't they?
The whole game is bigger, Jack. You know, 27 years ago when I started in pro football, you know, you never see a 300-pound guy. Now almost every offensive lineman tackle the tackles a 300-pounder.
First down, St. Louis. St. Louis 39-yard line. And we talked about it earlier that Mike Charles and others have been really forcing the Cardinals center, and they back Ruther right onto the feet of Lomax.
Well, I think normally when you see that happen to a quarterback, that means one of his own guys stepped on his foot. Normally the guy, you know, let's see if we can pick it up.
Lomax tell him go that way, don't come this way.
Yeah, somebody steps on his foot because he cannot pull out. See him? I think it was 64. I think it was Pete get knocked right in there.
And Ruther the center. And a loss of 4 yards on the play. Green comes left along with J.T. Smith. San Diego shows the blitz. The blitz is on. Lomax dumps it off short. And it's 3rd and long coming up as a result. Giving forward progress to the 41-yard line. Don Holmes caught that. No, they beat the blitz, but San Diego limited the Cardinals to 7 yards on the play.
I think the St. Louis offensive scheme seems to be so far is we're going to have Lomax take a shorter drop. 1, 2, 3, bang, throw it. Because in the first half, when he went to 5 steps or 7 steps, he didn't have time to throw the ball.
He's in the shotgun on 3rd and 8. 4-man rush. Pass is through the hands of Holmes and incomplete. Well, they did that in the first half. Holmes dropped one, Green dropped one. There was a lot of velocity on that ball, but he was 30 yards deep.
When you play in the National Football League, Jack, you better catch that ball. I mean, that was perfectly thrown ball for that type of a pattern. You go down and run a hook to make sure you get the first down. The ball's delivered on time, and it goes right through your hands. That shouldn't happen if you're going to play in the NFL.
And that wasn't Lomac's fault. We haven't seen any of Troy Johnson. He's another of the wide receivers of the Cardinals. And Greg Cater will kick from about his 30. This is his third punt. Lionel James is a tough little receiver, and the ball goes out of bounds at the 17-yard line. A good effort by Cater under heavy pressure, a 42-yard punt. But the Chargers, who punted the last time they had the ball, have it again.
42 yards on the punt by Cater.
Stanley. We open doors all across America.
Doors that open wide and welcome you inside. That open up to your special day. Doors that get you on your way. Stanley doors for London eyes that bring you in when it's warm and dry.
Stanley doors for the quality of your life.
Stanley helps you do things right.
Pete Rose just got tough.
Because now I use Tegrin medicated shampoo. Head and Shoulders, not tough enough. Tegrin's 4 times tough on all 4 major causes of flaking and itching. Get 4 times tough with Tegrin.
People are rushing to Yugo's 100,000 countdown celebration. Who needs all that 1.9 confusion and big down payments? Here, it's so simple. A great car. A great price. And now a great deal. You won't believe how much you can save. Get to your Yugo dealer now.
Sehen Sie sich bloß einmal diese rohe Kraft an. Der Mann ist wie eine menschliche Kanone. Er explodiert.
Every major government is spending millions getting ready for next year's Olympics. Except one. In America, Olympians can't depend on government funding. That's why the Miller Brewing Company is proud to be the sole sponsor of the U.S. Olympic Training Centers. With these centers and a lot of hard work, our team can take on anybody, no matter what they spend.
Cardinals recovered a fumble to stop San Diego. They were going in to add to their 28-0 lead. And then the Cardinals had to punt, and San Diego's at their 17. Sunbathed crowd here. Spencer, the running back. Not much room there. Good for a couple of yards with Noga and Clasby holding forth. Fouts is in his 15th year. His father, by the way, is a sports announcer, a good friend of mine. I've known Fouts since he was about 12 years old.
Could you tell then he was going to be a good one?
No, I couldn't tell then.
You used to shoot hoops with him, though, didn't you?
Right, over at Kezar Stadium. Second down coming up, 2nd and 7. Chandler is in the lineup. Here is Fouts to throw. Outside drop by Anderson. He tried to turn upfield a little too quickly. He should have caught that ball first, and it's going to be 3rd down. Third down coming up. Fouts has had a rather hot hand. In the first half, he was 8 out of 10. Now he's 10 out of 13. For 134 yards and none intercepted. Cardinals haven't picked any off this year. They didn't last week against Dallas. James in motion, and Fouts throws, and it is caught by Mack. Yep, they give him the interception. Mack gets the first of the year for the Cardinals. He almost bobbled it when he was going out of bounds, and they might take a look at that picture before they give the ball to the Cardinals.
I'm surprised Fouts is throwing with the score in this situation. His own offensive lineman backs up into him there. He overthrows Anderson again.
Whoop.
Whoa, what a catch. That look, oh, I don't know if he had it, Jack.
Yeah, they're lucky to keep the ball.
And that's what the fans are reacting to. They're seeing it on the scoreboard.
They show the replay here on the video board.
And we'll have another one, I bet, before anything happens.
These fans don't like it. We might have the officials step in and take it away, but if they snap the ball another time, why,
they're not going to do it.
It'll belong to St. Louis. It's at the San Diego 26-yard line.
That's Al Saunders getting on the official nearest the bench.
Here the fake draw, and a very good tackle was made. Danny Walters came flying up there, and he made the tackle on Roy Green.
You know, Walters is their best defensive back, Jack, but as we said earlier in the broadcast, he's had some personal problems. He's had problems with drugs in the past. Now, when he had problems during the week, the Chargers picked up Elvis Patterson, who was let go by the Giants.
He worked out yesterday.
And he worked out Friday up with the Raiders, and he was down here yesterday. He's got great ability, but he has problems.
These fans are a bit hostile, and if the score had been closer, why, we might have had a riot here. Here they come offside, and there's Mike Charles wrestling Lomax around.
Oh, here we go.
And flags go down. And now Tunney is dressing Lomax down. Tunney says, if he comes in and gives you a whack like that, I want you to behave. I want you to say nothing or do nothing.
But let me tell you what happened, Jack. Last year, Dexter Manley of the Washington Redskins did this 3 different times in different games. So at the end of the year, let's Tunney go through. At the end of the year, the league fined him. They said when that ball stopped, you can't go in and get a quarterback and dunk him. But Manley would do it to go in and try to intimidate the quarterback, and that's why I thought
he didn't really rough Lomax up, and then Lomax reacted.
Yeah, but he didn't have to do it either.
No, he didn't. That's the first penalty against San Diego. Takes the ball down inside the 20. Joe Bostic comes back into the offensive line of St. Louis. That's the first penalty against San Diego. This crowd is up in arms. Lomax could run. He throws inside the 10. Was that J.T. Smith who caught it? It was. It's 1st and goal. A 12-yard pickup. 7. And the Dallas Cowboys take the lead over the Giants in the 3rd quarter, 10-7. Meanwhile, the Pirates have tied the New York Mets there in extra innings. Top of the 13th, 8-8. 1st and goal, St. Louis. Lomax still in the air and airing it out, and it is a touchdown to Roy Green. It finally kept lofting it up there, and Green walks in for the score.
I'll tell you, the officials let him get away with a little bit in this play. He had a little bit of a shove off in the end zone when he made his break to come out here, but the way the Cardinals have been going today, they deserve a break.
And they get the score with 6:43 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Now the all-important extra point with Jim Gallery. He was 3 for 3 a week ago. Michael Morris snapping the ball. His kicker has missed 2 field goals today. Nice snap, and Stout got it down. That was a good job, and it's 28-7. 6:43 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and the Cardinals finally score on the pass play to Roy Green.
There's a plan for building a house. You should have a plan for moving out of one. That's where Ryder comes in. We can help you handle every step, from picking the best truck to packing your lamps.
Got a spot for this?
What's that?
Hair.
Call your Ryder dealer this fall for easy Ryder values. They're all part of the plan. Ryder. We're there at every turn.
The championship awaits us.
These reports await you. No work, no play.
Come on, team. Let's take the field.
The IBM Personal System 2, an expanding lineup of powerful computers, printers, and software.
Hush has come over the ballpark.
He digs in and connects.
Let's punch one right up the middle.
Crunch time.
We need a display of raw power.
Beautiful. The new IBM Personal System 2 family.
Play ball.
See what you can do with the right equipment.
For the first winter ever, there's actually an antifreeze that will guarantee your radiator. The antifreeze, new Prestone Advanced Formula. Use it after using Prestone Super Flush. And should our protection fail, no matter which model car you have, we'll pay for your radiator repairs. New Prestone Advanced Formula. The antifreeze that guarantees your radiator.
Wednesday.
Terror has come to America.
There are some who live for the death of civilization. Telly Savalas guest stars on the 2-hour season premiere of The Equalizer.
Watch the move Green makes here. Uses his left arm, gets away from Bird. Now you can do that if the defensive back is on the line of scrimmage because you are a blocker, in theory. Green does it, makes it believe like he's going to use it for a block. That enables him to turn Bird around, come across the end zone, and make the play.
That's his third touchdown of the year. He's caught 7 today for 139 yards. Jim Gallery kicking off. Curtis Adams is deepest for San Diego. And Adams will return this one from the 1-yard line to the 10. And a flag goes down, and the tackle made short of the 20-yard line. Ron Wolfley was downfield, a good special teams player, Pro Bowler from a year ago, and probably a block below the waist drew the flag.
Yeah, Hunter for San Diego, number 27, is coming downfield. He hit Jurasta of the Cards from behind, 27, that's Hunter, and just pushed him out of the play. Really didn't block him, he just pushed him out of the way, and of course that's the penalty you see most now on kick returns, pushing from behind.
Now the Cardinals with the ball at the San Diego 6 have a chance to bottle them up and get the ball back. Trailing 28-7.
Well, they scored 21 points in the closing minutes just like that last week, so I guess they still get a shot.
And the running play to Curtis Adams, and he's good for 4 yards. Straight ahead. Maybe the heat is a little heavy as they get Anderson out of there and Spencer, and they play Curtis Adams. Jack Murphy Stadium, 53,000. The score was 28-0 at the half in favor of the Chargers. The Cardinals have just scored here in the third quarter. The highlight of the day, an 81-yard punt return by Lionel James of the Chargers. And a fumble, and now Spencer gets the ball, and he is hit after crossing the 10-yard line in a 1-yard gain. Leonard Smith came up with that defensive jolt. Looked like the ball was bobbled for a moment.
I don't know why San Diego appears shaky here in the second half. Right? They look a little shaky. They have the 28-0 lead.
They came out throwing when they got the second half kickoff, and then they threw again and were picked off. The Cardinals should not have had the ball because it was bobbled as Cedric Mack went out of bounds. And now San Diego is sitting on it a little bit. They put in the third wide receiver, Jamie Holland. They haven't been able to get to Fouts all day. It's a 4-man rush. The pass is incomplete. Handed out here for Chandler, and breaking it up was Carl Carter. And now the Chargers are going to have to punt, and this game might be changing around.
They should have excellent field position right here, especially with a guy like Sikahema back there.
And we still have 5:13 remaining in the third quarter. Ralph Mojenko is doing the punting. This will be his third of the day. Dennis McKnight will snap the ball. And a line drive kick, and Sikahema watches it bounce near midfield, and it's out of bounds at the St. Louis 49-yard line. Well, the Cardinals in a very good operating position after a 40-yard punt. 5:02 left in the third quarter. There's our score, 28-7 Chargers.
Nationwide, Yugo dealers are having a spectacular 100,000 countdown celebration.
We've sold 75,000 Yugos, but that's not enough. We want 100,000 satisfied Yugo owners.
So we're making great deals on our $39.90 Yugo. This is your only chance to buy a $39.90 Yugo with our spectacular countdown deals. Imagine America's lowest priced car, now with a deal.
Call 1-800-USA-YUGO for the dealer nearest you. But hurry.
These prices can't last, and these deals won't last.
Smith, Barney. No, a bit strong. Smith, Barney. They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it. They make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it. Make money the old-fashioned way. They earn it. Ah, dear. Smith Barney. They make money. Money. The old-fashioned way. They earn it. Oh. They earn it. They earn it. They earn it. Hmm?
Leo, they chose you to be the new spokesman. Do it your way.
Introducing Leo McKern for the investment firm of Smith Barney.
Some of the world's most celebrated milers will take to one of the world's most celebrated streets, the Mercedes Mile on 5th Avenue, next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Well, how fast can some of the world's best milers run down 5th Avenue? Steve Ovett, Eamon Coughlin, Steve Scott. That's next Saturday on CBS, the Mercedes Mile right down 5th Avenue, 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 o'clock Pacific here on CBS. Well, Neil Lomax has been airing it out today.
Talk about airing it out. Look at that.
Yeah.
Beautiful day out here.
Lomax has thrown the ball 36 times. He's completed 18. He's had 1 intercepted. He starts at his own 49-yard line. And if they're going to beat the Chargers, they're going to beat them through the air. Here is Farrell, and landing on top of him was Chip Banks. Boy, he's a smart player. He doesn't take those fakes, does he?
Well, if he could play against the St. Louis Cardinals every week, I think he'd go to the Pro Bowl.
Nobody's blocking him.
Nobody's got him today. I mean, he's just coming right down the line and virtually doing anything he wants to do.
Giants back on top in the 3rd quarter, 14-10 over Dallas. Meanwhile, the baseball game going on with the Mets and Pittsburgh. Each team scored a run in the 12th inning, and they're tied 8-8. Lomax dumped it off short, and it was caught. And a few yards by the tight end, Jane Novacek, and that's his 3rd catch of the day. Gain of 9 and 3rd down and 1.
I wonder, Jack, if the San Diego defense is wearing down a little bit. They haven't seemed to be as quick in the second half or coming after Lomax with the same intensity they did in the first half. That time he just dropped straight back and had time to throw the ball, and when he's had time, he's done well.
And on 3rd and 2, a critical throw, and it is caught. And that's by J.T. Smith, the outstanding possession receiver, and his technique was terrific there. He caught the ball and put it away. And he was hit by Thomas Benson and Gary Plummer and held on, and it's a 1st down. So Smith is involved more. To the San Diego 36. Cardinal touchdown here would make this much more interesting. 3.5 left in the 3rd quarter. Green to the left and Smith to the right. Throw for the Cardinals. Now a 1st down pass. And overthrown and incomplete. Tried to get it downfield to Smith. Smith doesn't run away from people. He was covered by Gil Byrd. And we have, I thought there was a flag thrown, but there was not.
Yeah, Roy Green over here all alone that time, Jack. But I think all the action that Lomax was looking at was on the right side of the field.
Here are some baseball scores. The Cardinals beat the Cubs 10-2. And Philadelphia winner over Montreal 4-1. Each team scored in the 12th, but now the Mets and the Pirates are tied 8-8 in the bottom of the 13th at Pittsburgh. Daniel Hunter is the extra defensive back for the Chargers on 2nd and 10. A give to Farrell, outside, inside, and crunching down to the 30-yard line. That Farrell is a big dude. People don't realize he's about 242 pounds. He just got 7 yards. And a very good blocker, too.
Well, he's an outstanding blocker, and even though they weigh him in like a 242, people say he's really up over 250. He's a very tough guy who, in the last couple of years or so, has become a better runner than he had been earlier. And you need a guy like Farrell on a day like today when you get this type of blitzing. A big guy, 250 pounds, he can match up with a linebacker. The smaller guys don't match up that well.
It is 3rd down and 3. Wolfley is in the lineup for St. Louis. And Lomax tosses to Mitchell. Mitchell gets a 1st down as he gets inside the 25-yard line. Wolfley kicked the tackler out, and Mitchell went inside for a 6-yard gain. and a first down. They mark the ball at the San Diego 24-yard line. We have less than 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter as Gene Stallings doesn't want any misfires on this drive.